Okay, picking up where we left off. We finished B and we had 4 plus 4.5, which gave us 8.5 yards. Okay, now we look here at number 2. It says a stretch of highway that is 45.5 miles long is being resurfaced. The company doing the work estimate that it can resurface 1 1/4 miles in a day. How long will it take the work to be completed? So we take 45.5 divided by 1 1/4. Okay, we have to change this mixed number to an improper fraction, which comes out to be 91 over 2. We bring down our division sign. 1 1/4 becomes 5/4. Now, we bring down 91.5, division becomes multiplication, and we have 4/5. Now, what we do, we need to find the prime factorization of 91. 91 prime factorization is 7 times 13, and 4's prime factorization is 2 times 2. So we write that on the numerator. We have 7 times 13 times 2 times 2. And our denominator, 2 is prime and 5 is prime. We simplify out the 2's that they have in common. Now we have 7 times 13, which is 91, times 2, which is 182, over 5. So we take 5 into 182. 5 goes into 18 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. 18 minus 15 is 3. You bring down your 2. 5 goes into 32 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. 32 minus 30 is 2, and you have a remainder of 2. Now, our integer is the number in front of the remainder. It'll be 36, and our denominator stays 5, and our numerator is the remainder. So it takes 36 2/5 days to have the job completed. Now, we scroll down here to number 3. It says Ben's backyard is 32 1/3 yards long and 18 3/4 yards wide. It says how much fencing will be required to fence in the entire backyard. Now we know when we deal with fencing, we're talking about the outside. So when we're measuring the outside of an item, we know that that is perimeter. So we have perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, because typically backyards are in the shape of a rectangle. So now we would take 2 times the length is 32 1/3 plus 2 times the width, which is 18 3/4. We change those mixed numbers to improper fractions. 32 times 3 is 96 plus 1 is 97, and that's 97 over 3. 18 times 4 is 72 plus 3 is 75. That's 75 over 4. Now we take these 2's and put them over 1, and now we multiply. 2 times 97 is 194, and 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 75 is 150, and 1 times 4 is 4. Now we find the common denominator. We've already know that our common denominator at 3 and 4 is 12, which we did in previous exercises. So what we have to do now is say, okay, we compare the 3 and the 4. What does the 4 have that 3 does not? And it's the 4. So we'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 4. Now we look at the 4. We say, what does 3 have that 4 does not? Which would be 3. We multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. So 194 times 4 is 776. And 3 times 4 is 12. Then we take 150 times 3, which is 450, and 4 times 3 is 12. Now we add these together. We have 6, 5 and 7 is 12, 2, carry a 1, 4 and 7 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So we had 1226 divided by 12. Now, under normal circumstances, I would tell you to find the prime factorization and simplify. But first, let's find the integer portion. Let's make this improper fraction to a mixed number. So 12 goes into 12 once, and then that's 0, and we bring down this 2 only. 12 goes into 2 0 times. Now we bring down the 6. 12 goes into 26 twice. 26 minus 24 is 2. So our remainder here is 2. So our integer is 102, our denominator is 12, and our numerator is 2. Now we can simplify that. That will give us 2 still in our numerator. 12 broken up into its prime factorization is 2 times 2 times 3. And these 2's will simplify out. So you will have 102 and 1/6 yards. And that is your perimeter. Now, we scroll down here to B. Now it says here, if chain link fencing is sold in 15-yard rows, how many rows should Ben purchase? Okay, so first we start off with our 102 and 1/6 yards divided by 15, because it's 15-yard rows. So we change this 102 and 1/6 yards into an improper fraction. 102 times 6 is 612, plus 1 is 613, and that's over 6. Divided by, we'll put a 1 under the 15. So we have 613 over 6 times the reciprocal of 15 over 1 is 1 over 15. So this will give us 613 over 90. Now we would take 90 into 613. 90 goes into 613 6 times. 6 times 90 is 540. 613 minus 540, 3 minus 0 is 3. We cannot subtract 4 from 1, so we borrow 1 from this 6, and we have 5, and this becomes 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. 5 minus 5 is 0. Your remainder is 73. So your integer is 6, your denominator stays 90, and your numerator is 73. Now listen, we have to buy whole rows. So we cannot just buy 6 and 73 90th of a row. We will have to go ahead and round it up to 7 rows, and that will be our answer. Okay, next we'll scroll down here. We have number 3C. It says Ben's backyard is 32 1/3 yards long and 18 3/4 yards wide. Now it says if Ben wants to side his entire backyard, how much side would he need? Now as we know, if we want to side the entire backyard, we're siding the inside of the backyard, which deals with the area. And again, remember, a backyard is set up to be more like a rectangle. So we'll use the area of a rectangle. So we'll have the area is equal to length times width. The length is 32 1/3, and the width is 18 3/4. So we change that to be an improper fraction. 32 times 3 is 96, plus 1 is 97, and that's 97 over 3. 18 times 4 is 72, plus 3 is 75 over 4. Now we go through and multiply. Now 97 is a prime number, and then times 75. 75 can be broken up into 3 times 5 times 5. And then we have this 3 in our denominator, and we have times 4. And 4 can be broken up into 2 times 2. These two 3's simplify out, and we'll be left with 97 times 5, which is 2,425, and 2 times 2 is 4. So now we say 4 goes into 24 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 minus 24 is 0. We bring down our 2. 4 goes into 2 0 times. Now we bring down our 5. 4 goes into 25 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. 25 minus 24 is 1. And so we have a remainder of 1. So our integer is 606, and our fraction is 1/4, because our denominator stays 4 and our numerator is 1. So it's 606 1/4 square yards. Now that is your area. Now we go down here, and I believe this is our last problem. It says if sod is sold in rows that cover 12 square yards, how many rows should Ben purchase? Okay, so remember, we had 606 and 1/4 square yards. Now we want to know how many rows we'll have to buy for this. So we have to divide it by 12, because this is 12 square yards for these rows. So now we'll change this mixed number to an improper fraction. Our denominator would still be 4, and our numerator would be 2,425 divided by, this would be 12 over 1. We don't have to write the square yards. We can include that at the end. So we had 2,425 over 4 times, we take the reciprocal here, and it'll be 1/12. So now we add 2,000, well, let's put our equal signs here. We add 2,425 times 1, which is 2,425, and 5 times 12 is 60. So now we could take 60 into the 2,425. So we will have 60 into 2,425. 60 goes into 242 4 times. 4 times 60 is 240. 242 minus 240, I'll leave 2, and we'll bring down our 5. And we know 60 cannot go into 25, so that'll be a 0. And we have a remainder of 25. So now when we write our answer here, our integer will be 40, and our fraction, we know our denominator is 60, and our numerator is 25. Now we run into this issue here. We need to simplify this 25 over 60. So we have 40, and our numerator will break down to 5 times 5, and we have found the prime factorization of 60 before, which would be 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Now these 5's will simplify out, and we will be left with 45 over 12. Now this is, let's look back up at the question. It says if sod is sold in rows that cover 12 square yards, how many rows should Ben purchase? Now this is saying that we need to purchase 40 and 5/12 rows. Now we know at a store they would not sell you 5/12 of a row. So our final answer here would have to be 41 rows. And that is it.